beef, turkey, chicken, pork. These are all 4 recipes from the Farmer's Dog, and in this video, you're going to see them up close, learn about what's in them, and keep watching to see my attention-loving schnauzer Grumpy eat all of them as we go. I live in Denver, and all 3 of our dogs have been eating the Farmer's Dog for about 2 years now, and one of the most common questions I get is about the recipes and the proteins in them, so I thought we'd just put them all in one video. Each order, you can get 3 recipes in a box, but I collected all 4 of them over the course of a couple months so that you could see them all next to each other. I do this for you guys. And Grumpy here has literally grown up on the Farmer's Dog. It's all he's ever eaten since we got him as a puppy from a rescue here in Colorado. He's probably the most active, allergy-free schnauzer that you'll ever meet, and I honestly think that a lot of it is because of his food. And he loves his food, so this is a really great day for him. Also, this video isn't sponsored. I pay for all of this food myself at around $200 a month for our 3 dogs, but if you use the link in the description or on the screen, it'll get you 50% off your first box. Using that link supports my channel so that I can make more videos like this, and we're gonna go through each recipe and I'm gonna mention the primary ingredients in each one beyond just the protein, which obviously comes first. And we'll set Grumpy loose on each one, which is probably why some of you are watching this video. And in general, each recipe is pretty much just meat, veggies, and nutrients that all come together as a complete and balanced meal for your dog. I wanted to run through the major ingredients just in case you know your dog is allergic to or doesn't like something. Quick note, the Farmer's Dog does occasionally update its recipes, so this is what is in the recipes as of summer 2023. Let's start with beef. The primary ingredients here are beef, sweet potatoes, lentils, and carrots. And if we zoom in here, you can pretty much see everything that's in. What I love about this is that just by looking, you could pretty easily and accurately guess what their food is made of. While we all know that dogs don't see colors like we do, it's easy to spot the vegetables amidst all this meat. I've always liked that the meat just looked like you'd expect in these recipes. It never looks smushy after it's defrosted. I've mentioned this in other videos, but we started with beef in our first box and our dogs have never gotten tired of it. Something important to know with the beef is that because the portions are based on calories instead of volume, the beef portions look a little smaller compared to something like turkey, just because turkey is a more dense recipe. I kind of wanted to put this one on a sandwich for Grumpy because he is a lover of all platforms as long as this food ends up in his mouth. And real quick, just in case you think Grumpy's gonna have an upset stomach later today after eating all of this food, this is one of the big pluses of the Farmer's Dog that I don't think that I've ever mentioned before. I switch up our dogs' recipes all the time because I just move their pouches from the freezer to the refrigerator and I don't really think about it. Since the food isn't highly processed, it's easier for them to digest. I can switch back and forth between recipes without worrying about them getting the poops or needing to transition their food between orders. And now let's move on to the turkey recipe, which I'd say is the most visually appealing recipe for humans. It's super bright, colorful, and honestly smells pretty good. Like if this was on a sandwich that you made for yourself, you might be a little tempted. You probably wouldn't eat it, but you'd think about it. The primary ingredients here are turkey, chickpeas, broccoli, and spinach. If your dog is very aware of vegetables, either because they love or hate them, it's really easy to spot the vegetables in this one, especially the broccoli and spinach because of the color contrast. I wanted to mention that because our poodle Alfie is not a vegetable dog at all. He will still eat the turkey, but he's really only eating the vegetables because of the turkey that's around. And now we have chicken. This recipe was updated a few months back and now it's way less watery straight out of the pouch, which was something that I didn't like about the old recipe. I also think it smells better now too. The primary ingredients here are chicken, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, and broccoli. If you add pieces from like a rotisserie chicken or something to your dog's food because you do have a picky eater, chicken could be the right move for you. And I know some people could be thinking, if you know what's in the food, why don't you just make it yourself? It's a really good question, but there's a few big reasons why I don't. The first one is time. We've got 2 human kids, and food prepping for 3 dogs is just not something that I have time for at this point in my life. And the second one is nutrients. These meals give our dogs just the right amount, which is something that I'm not an expert on. There are definitely people who can do homemade dog food for their dogs. I actually have friends that do it. But many studies have shown that around 95% of homemade dog recipes have nutrition deficiencies, and I've had one friend learn that the hard way. If you're someone who can do that right, I fully respect that. I'm just not that person at this point in my life. But really, our dogs just love this food. They have no allergic reactions to it, and they look and smell great.
Doggish.
This food just makes my life easier, and the cost is absolutely worth it to me. And our fourth and last recipe here is pork, which we personally don't eat a lot of at home, but Grumpy has been into this recipe every time we've gotten it. The primary ingredients here are pork, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, green beans, and cauliflower. You can probably tell based on the ingredients, but the pork recipe is the least colorful of the bunch. It's a little more neutral looking overall. The green beans really stand out here, but I think dogs can really only see like blue and yellow anyways, so they probably don't really notice. Like the turkey, the pork pouches look a lot bigger than the beef recipe, but remember that it's all about calories here, and the portions are gonna be done for you. Our dogs are small, so we'll do 1 full pouch for all of them for 2 meals, but your setup will probably be a little different. So just trust the process and don't be confused if your dog's bowl looks more full with one compared to the other. If you follow the instructions, your dog is getting the right amount of food. And this buffet wouldn't be complete without the pork, and I think Grumpy might have just set the record for being the only dog to eat all 4 recipes in about 10 minutes. He's all about that positive affirmation life, so let's give that to him. And Grumpy just turned 2, so I'm gonna pretend that today is my birthday present to him. If you want to give this food a go, remember to use that link in the description to get 50% off your first box. That's all 4 recipes of the farmer's dog on one of the greatest days of Grumpy's life. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that it helped you find the right food for your dog.